you'd seen this project a while ago, and what happened?
7 or 8 years ago, I read an article in Wired magazine, and it was an article about a book that was coming out called Bringing Down the House. I mean, this book was on the New York Times bestseller list, but this was before anyone had even heard about it. Like they heard that it was coming down the pipeline. And it may have even been a review of the book, I believe. What struck me was the simplicity and the image of a math nerd, a mathematical genius who comes to Vegas and inherits the keys to Sin City, who gets to live life like a rock star. And that, I was like, wow, like that's everyone's fantasy, is to come here and be a big player and get given big casino suites and private jets and girls and strip clubs and games and partying and nightclubs. And this place is I just love the visual potential of that. So, but the bad news was I tried to buy the rights, and I find out Kevin Spacey had already bought the rights to it. So I forgot about it for 6-7 years. I don't know how long. And then I asked my agent to get me a movie that wasn't about no Legally Blonde 3 or no more wedding dress movies. I wanted to do something what I used to be doing back in film school. And then this script came to me called 21. And 21, I didn't know what it was. She said, just have a look at this. So I started reading, and I said to her, are you insane? This is that movie I tried to buy. You know, they changed the title. And she said, well, maybe it's meant to be, my agent said to me. And I said, you know what, maybe you're right. But here's the problem. The studio and producers and everyone's like, 21, Robert Luketic, it doesn't really, not exactly the first name that pops into your head when you think about this film. So it was almost like I had to go back and start again. I had to do the kind of meetings you do when you're a first-time director, where you have to go in there and really sell, because as we advance in our careers, we get lazy and we just want the job offered, and yeah, I'll think about it. And no, but I had to go in there and like really work to get the movie. Yeah, I talked about balancing what could be very boring card games with because blackjack's not a spectator sport. No one wants to watch blackjack. It's unless you're playing, great, it's fun. But you don't sit here and watch people play blackjack. You fall asleep. The challenge for me, and what I told the studio that I was going to do, is how I was going to make this visually compelling. How I would, the focus is always on the lead character's emotions, not so much the cards. The cards are there and they're great, but I wanted to treat it differently, and that's ultimately what we did. So I think that's probably why they liked me. I don't know why they gave me the job, to be quite honest with you, but yeah.
Now, the casting, Jim, his film hadn't come out yet, had it?
Hadn't, but I knew the producer, Jennifer Todd, so she showed me an early cut of Across the Universe. And he was on location filming The Other Berlin Girl with Natalie Portman and Scarlett Johansson. But of course, that was filming in London. I didn't know anything about it. So I looked at this early cut, and I just pointed at the screen. I said, who's that? Who's that guy there? And they said, well, that's Jim Sturgis. And I said, get him a script and find out where he is. I don't care, find him somewhere. Because I would looked everywhere. I couldn't find my lead guy. Because I had a picture in my head. When you read a script, and I wanted it to be a fresh face. I wanted it to be new. I wanted it to be exciting. I wanted the audience to believe it. I didn't want someone with a whole lot of baggage and exposure, kind of tainting that, I wanted it to be an innocent experience, is what I wanted. And he put himself on tape in his hotel room. It was very rough production, but the audition, the performance, was incredible. It was incredible. Jim Sturgis has a presence that makes you feel comfortable. He's likable. He's someone you'd want to have as your friend. He is innocent and sweet, but then he can also put on an Armani suit and walk through the casino and look like a real player. People I was auditioning for this either had one or the other, but he just was like this complete package. Here's the problem, though. He's got a really thick English accent, and my movie is about an all-American boy, so I was in big trouble from the start. But there was some convincing that I guess had to be done, and I bet my career on it. that he was the one. So the screenplay is inspired by the book. I think the book has a lot of characters, a lot of different locations other than Las Vegas. The book is very sweeping. It's a wonderful inspiration for the movie. We took some dramatic license with names, places, and both to protect the innocent and for legal reasons. And but one thing we did stay very authentic with was the team, the way the team operated, the system they used, the words they used, the cards. All the hands are accurate. Everything you see is very accurate, and it's been researched. And so we were very, very true to the game, to the system, to the team. Even though their names are different and some of their personalities are different, but you still see the heart of Ben Mesric's book in there, and it's always a relief when the author of the book watches your movie and says he liked it, because it's always a very, because his book is so, Bringing Down the House has been on the New York Times bestseller list for so long. It's a loved book, and anytime a filmmaker messes with such a beloved piece of literature, it's, you can get into trouble. So lucky I didn't get into trouble. He liked it. So, but I'm a lucky kid. I got lucky. I'm sure there are so many other filmmakers that I knew and grew up with, and who have extreme talent. But I just was lucky. I was in the right place at the right time, and very few people get to do what I do. Whereas I was making one kind of movie, and the industry perceived me as being that guy. To get a chance to show another part of me was cool.
Well, let's talk about the very first film you directed in Hollywood, which became quite a sensation. What was that all about?
It was a little movie called Legally Blonde. You may have heard of it. I don't know. But that's how it was. Like when I came in at MGM, like I don't even think people were watching what I was shooting there. It was this little $14-15 million film. Reese wasn't a household name. I'd seen her in Election and just absolutely fell in love with her. And even though, that the studio at the time wanted, I think, Gwyneth and Cameron Diaz, I was like, what are you talking about? I mean, they're all fine actresses, but I had my heart set on Reese. I thought that was the right tone, the right look, the right girl for Elle Woods. And to be really honest with you, if Legally Blonde went to DVD, I would have been happy. I had not made a feature film yet. I was new into Hollywood. I didn't know. We had no idea what was about to hit us when we released that movie, So, yeah, that changed my life. That was the film that changed my life.